All right, good afternoon, guys. What's up? It's November 24th. It is Sunday, and we're about to get into our analysis that we do every week. I apologize in advance for my voice. I feel like I sound really gross, but I had a cold this week, so I just am a bit stuffy still. But I hope everybody had a good week last week when it came to trading in the markets. I again did not trade last week. Um, I've kind of been taking some time off of trading myself, but still keeping the analysis going for now. But the move I called out on the dollar last week played out, so hopefully somebody may have caught that. I'm not sure, but if you did, that's dope. Okay, so before we get started, I kind of want to read a psalm to start out today. And I'm going to read. Oh, yeah, my cat is like purring right into the microphone, so I don't know if y'all can hear that, but okay, so this is I'm going to read from Psalm 19, and I'm just going to read the whole thing. It's not super long, but here we go. The heavens are proclaiming the esteem of El, and the expanse is declaring the work of his hand. Day to day pours forth speech, and night to night reveals knowledge. There is no speech, and there are no words. Their voice is not heard. Their line has gone out through all of the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them he set up a tent for the sun, and it is like a bridegroom coming out of his room. It rejoices like a path. It rejoices like a strong man to run the path. Its rising is from one end to the heavens, and its circuit to the other end. The knot is hidden from its heat. The Torah of Yahuwah is perfect, bringing back the being. The witness of Yahuwah is trustworthy, making wise the simple. The orders of Yahuwah are straight, rejoicing the heart. The command of Yahuwah is clear, enlightening the eyes. The fear of Yahuwah is clean, standing forever. The right rulings of Yahuwah are true. They are righteous altogether, more desirable than gold, than much fine gold, and sweeter than honey in the honeycomb. Also your servant is warned by them. In guarding them there is great reward. Who discerns mistakes? Declare me innocent from those that are secret. Also keep your servant back from presumptuous ones. Do not let them rule over me. Then I shall be perfect, and innocent of great transgression. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing before you, O Yahuwah, my rock and my redeemer. Oh, I sound terrible. I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah. Um, I've been studying that psalm recently because if you guys notice, like the first half of it, it's talking about the heavens, right? Um, and his creation of them and the bodies that are in them and the power and the authority that they were given. And then it transitions, right into um right into his Yahweh's laws. And it's really cool because just like he has laws and instructions and um, you know, orders for us to follow, he also has the same for the heavenly bodies in the sky. And so I think it's really cool how this psalm kind of talks about the orders of the heavens and then it goes straight into the orders of his word for us, right? And I don't know, it's just cool. Just makes sense to why his name is I am, because he is. All right, so starting with the dollar, I think last week we made a pretty short video, so that means I'm getting better at this. So I would prefer these analyses to be not very long, right? It's just better when you're not spending like too much time on it. Okay, so this was the move that we called out last week. We had this trendline liquidity marked right here. So this high, these highs, and then the previous week before last, we had this one fail to make a new high. And so um, we were I was expecting price to do more than this, kind of. Um, but it was a slow week to be completely honest. But we retraced and we sold down a little bit. If you go down to the 15-minute, there was liquidity that was created right here in this channel right here. And price kind of just did that for the first day or two, and then it swept below, right? And then it started to move up. So during our analysis that last week, that was the move that I said, if price comes down here, if it retraces first, right, and you get a break of structure to the upside, I would definitely recommend looking to trade that up into this liquidity that was resting up here that's marked by that black line. And so that's pretty much the only move we got all week. I mean, it didn't go very high to like continue going. So let's just take a look at yeah, so our option 3 played out. So begins to trend higher for the week after it retraces into the liquidity, which it did, or possibly even higher into the buy side objectives with a retracement on Thursday or Friday. So our buy side objectives were there's a large fair value gap and unmitigated order block on the buy side, which has not been mitigated. I said that twice. So if we zoom out, we did come into this gap. So there's still a lot more gap left, and this order block still remains unmitigated. But we did get some form of a retracement on Friday. Hence this wick right here. So where does that leave us? We're coming into the end of the month too. So we're on the last week. I'm gonna go ahead and mark this line right here. I kind of like this one better than the weekly. Oh, well, it's the exact same, so psych. And here's a daily order block that I'm not gonna mark that. We're just gonna keep an eye on it. I don't like making my charts too messy, people. It really just works against you. Yeah, this week is Thanksgiving too, so we gotta check and see whether or not the market is actually closed. 20, what is that, 31st? Do we even have 31st? 31 days in. Let me check real quick. Nope, just 30. It's 29 now. Okay, and by overbought, I mean like it's just been buying without relenting. Like there's no retracement really. So it's just like, how would you say it? Like if you're building a structure and you're just stacking them on top of each other, taller, taller, and taller without building out the base, it's gonna eventually fall, you know what I mean? Tumble, we should say. Okay. What's up, Rob? Welcome, welcome. Okay. So, since we have this rejection wick right here, and we are into the liquidity, I think that we should at least entertain the idea that price is rejecting this, and we could see it begin to break down. Because we know overall price will start falling on the dollar eventually, because we are cutting rates and we do have another rate decision coming up in a few weeks here. So we should at least entertain that decision. This is going to be a good point to see if it can break below this, right? Um, I think that we could also get something, maybe just another, like if price comes here and rejects this level that it came into, we could potentially see it break below this daily low right here, but then it rejects that as well to continue higher. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what it looks like when it gets down here, whether or not it's gonna give us a wick like this of rejection. And it should happen swiftly, or if it just wants to give us solid candles and start breaking down, then that's a different story. And I'd be anticipating more of this happening. Um, so those would have like the same start. And I think like this would be kind of like our Tuesday, Wednesday time frame right here. Both of these. Or and so this would be like a Judas swing, which happens all the time. Or let me look at the weekly, 2 week, 3 week. Yeah, those aren't closed yet. Let's just throw the Fibonacci on here just cause. Go back to the daily. Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna delete this. So since we're still trending, let's just entertain that price is gonna keep that trend. Um, who knows? We might get something like a price sweeps the high and then comes down into this area of support, and then we could just continue to trend higher because price wants to fill these higher objectives weekly. Because of this wick, like it's not impossible for price to sweep the high of last week. I mean, that's always what I kind of look for, but there is a wick here, so it's possible it has already rejected that level and it doesn't need to do that again, but never say never. And then I just want to go back to this option a little bit. We could see it sweep again. See something like this, but I'm just going to leave this here because, like I said, it already has a rejection. So it can happen twice, yeah, but this level of liquidity that it came into and that it seems to be rejecting is just like it's such a large pool of liquidity that if price is going to switch direction after that, like it's going to do it fast. So that's kind of like my logic there. But let's go ahead and screenshot this. And then let's look at news real quick. Prelim, GDP, unemployment, oil, FOMC meeting minutes. Okay, so this will be old. Whatever they release on this is going to be kind of like a delayed. That's from an old meeting. Scheduled 8 times per year, 3 weeks after the federal funds raise announced. Yeah, so nothing too crazy. It actually doesn't look like the market's closing this week for Thanksgiving. Because Thanksgiving's on the 28th, right? And I don't see a bank holiday, so cool. It's probably just gonna be slow, maybe. Actually, I do remember um, trading on Thanksgiving one year, a few years ago. Another incoming Trump, at the heart of the matter lies a hotly debated topic. Wow, they're actually talking about the federal bank. Hold on, I'm gonna look at this real quick. Okay, that's not talking about what I thought it was. With the Fed currently in the process of lowering rates, a higher neutral rate implies the Fed doesn't need to cut rates as much to support the economy. Alternatively, a lower neutral rate would argue for more aggressive cuts. So I heard that So I have like I used to sell real estate, but I don't practice real estate anymore, and I have a coworker who does, and I'm asking her, I'm like, so is your business booming right now? Because last time we had rates getting lower, right? Um, Usually buyers flood into the market because they want to get the lower rate. And so she said, no, it's dead silent. Like there's nobody coming out to open houses, none of that stuff. And she's like, it's super weird. And then um, I heard that I guess people are getting, there's a certain term for it, but when you apply for a loan and you get denied because you can't afford that loan, there's a certain term for it. I forget what it's called. But that's happening in like record numbers. So people are applying for like home loans, they're applying for car loans, they're applying for like credit cards, they're applying for these things, but they're getting denied because they don't actually have any money to support the loan, which is a good thing because we don't want to go back to 2008. But it's like, yeah, we're getting rates to go down, but people just don't have any money right now. And so even though rates are going down, if people aren't spending money because they don't have money, then that doesn't really help the economy. So that's interesting. I don't remember why I started talking about that, but yeah, the economy is definitely being weird right now. Either that or everybody just has all their money in crypto and they're and they're just waiting it out. That's me right now. Like at this point, it's just all about Bitcoin. Yeah, also 3 years ago, when people were buying houses like crazy, the rates were obviously lower, but also people were getting stimulus because of COVID. So it's like another reason why that was just not the best thing for the economy is because you're giving people all this extra money that they can then go and spend, but they're spending it on things that they don't necessarily actually have the income to support after their stimulus money runs out. So it's like, yeah, they can get these things, but then their money eventually isn't going to be able to support it, right? Um, so yeah, it's just like this whole toxic cycle for Americans right now. It's not good. Okay, let's move on to NASDAQ. This did not move at all last week either. So honestly, we can probably just copy and paste last week's. Like, so the previous week we had sold into this weekly order block right here. And we pretty much, this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We didn't go anywhere. Literally, we just consolidated. I will say though that now we have all of this liquidity right here that we should pay attention to. And not only that, we also have it on the top. Okay. So we have this trendline liquidity right here. And then we have all these gaps in here, right? Click on the daily real quick. Yeah, gaps. Excuse me. What broker do I use? I'm still on Osprey for 4x. Um, but as far as futures goes, trade ovate. So it's like you spell the word trade and then you drop the E and you put a O, trade ovate. So that would be a futures broker. Um, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna delete this top line because I just don't like the way that looks. But yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, so I would say our analysis is pretty much the same as last week then because price really didn't move. I mean, we sold into this order block, right? There's still liquidity down here. And I'm honestly gonna leave it. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this, honestly, and um just re-screenshot it. This is our next bullish objective right here. I will say though, I will say that so this option right here. Okay, so do you see this arrow? So this is where we're at, like literally. This is what price gave us last week. So now that we have trendline liquidity underneath this little consolidation that's giving us that up move, this makes so much sense right here. This down move because it's sweeping this liquidity and it's also filling these imbalances here. And I do believe there's a daily order block here as well. And then we could pivot and go back up. So I would definitely be watching out for price to come into here. Now, the other option we did talk about last week was that price would actually come lower. So we could get something that looks like this. Like we come into this liquidity and then again, this would be like our Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we go up. Right? Because we do have that here. We do have imbalances here. We have this daily gap that we have been keeping an eye on for a long time that hasn't been filled. And it's really close to here. So here's that daily order block I just mentioned. And then we're gonna mark this just in case. I know price is gonna fill this eventually. Like I just feel like it really is. So yeah, so we could get a dip into here, right? And then we could get price coming back up. I don't know, maybe it goes and sweeps the top. Maybe it just bounces at support and then it goes lower into here. So either one of those options I'd be fine with. I would definitely be looking for a buy in this area and also in this area, potentially lower. But yeah, so our analysis is pretty much the same. I'm actually going to take a new picture. I like this one better. Okay. I think it's really just that one option. Um, I would also just like to state real quick that yes, we do even have lower objectives than just this one, but um, like I always say, let's just focus on the closest things next to us. Um, so yeah. Okay, so we're done with that one. It looks like we got a little bit more of a movement on Dow. What did we say last week? Price opens lower, taking last week. Price opens lower, taking last week's high. I think I meant low right there, and then pushes up, making a lower high, then sells into the order block below, and from here that either pivots to the upside or continues to break down based upon what day of the week. Price opens higher to make a lower high, then sells into the order block. Okay, so kind of a similar analysis to NASDAQ. So here is what it looks like on the weekly. Is we also had an order block here, which we did sell towards it. We didn't exactly come and meet it, but we did sell into this imbalance. Okay, and it looks like we appear to make an order block on the weekly time frame. And this kind of is a weird looking order block, to be completely honest, because yeah, the bodies are engulfing each other, but it's not engulfing like the whole entire wick. But we're gonna throw a fib on it anyway, because we do have a rejection candle on the bottom here. So same thing happened with this one last week. We did get a slight sell from Monday, and this is Tuesday where we dipped in, so that's good. And then we just started pushing up from there. So we came really close to the high of the previous week. So what I was looking at is like if price wanted to go lower into either this order block that we saw here on the weekly or into any lower objective down here, we'd get like a push down to take out its low, and then we'd see price push up again, and then it would start to break down. You can kind of see that here as well. Again, we go lower to take last week's low, and then we go up high again, and then this would have been like a drop scenario before pivoting back. These two are kind of the same ish, but this only is going to drop into that weekly order block. It's not going to go into the lower liquidity that you see here. So I don't want to rule these out yet because I mean, there's a lot of volume in these candles, and I don't see any sign of rejection necessarily. So it kind of does look like this little retracement that we had into the bigger weekly gap. It kind of looks like this was satisfying to it. And then it does want to make a new high. So we're going to need to watch and see what happens with this low. Like, are we going to respect it and then go higher? Or are we going to break it, right, and then go lower into that order block that was never mitigated? I will say that just because of the volume that I see in the current candles, it honestly does look like we're gonna make a new high. Because I'm not seeing any form of like weakness, if you know what I mean. Um, so in this scenario, price may pivot here and then we go higher, or it could just continue down into this lower form. But like I said, the momentum is definitely to the buy side right now. On a macro scale, the trend is up, right? So if this is our new higher low, then we're on our way to make a higher high. And that makes absolute sense. So we could respect here and then just go higher, right, for the week. and then get maybe a retracement on Friday, like that. But I don't see, oh, excuse me. But yeah, so these wicks right here are definitely rejecting. So I think I'm a little more bullish on this one for sure. So I think best case scenario, we should anticipate some form of retracement, and then if you want to, you can throw um, a Fibonacci on here, and we can mark this -27 right here, and this can be our new bullish objective. Okay. Just throwing that fib back on that weekly candle. We do have our 0.78 in here somewhere. Our 50% is resting right in between this imbalance right here. Okay. So it's very possible that we could get a retracement down into here before we make that new high. So those are all things to look out for. These always look so weird on the weekly. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick. So hopefully this means that the dollar is starting to turn. Um, because if it is, then what am I looking for right now? Oh yeah, AUD USD. So this was kind of like my, I don't know if I did this on the live last week, put this arrow there, but we were talking about when the dollar turns, this pair also should turn, and we've been tracking this pair for quite some time. It's been getting pretty low, still respecting this swing low. But we did have a bearish order block, which kind of indicates more bearishness. Um, but we're definitely going to be expecting some sort of manipulation when it comes to making a swing as large as this. So I kind of put like, okay, yeah, it's going to go up into this order block and then it's going to make, if the dollar starts turning, then I could see it making a lower high or a higher low, excuse me, and then turning to the upside. So that's why those arrows are there. But if you look at what we had last week, price opened on Monday or Sunday, Monday, somewhere in here. But this is Monday, this is a Tuesday. So from Sunday all the way into a first part of Wednesday, we did push up into that weekly order block. Okay, that's why you see this wick all the way up into here. And then price did sell for the remainder of the days. And it kind of created this like this pool of liquidity, pretty much, that I was watching it. And so by Thursday, we began to really break down and we kind of swept these equal lows and we came all the way down into this fair value gap right here. So this looks like it could possibly be that higher low. So I'm going to continue to watch this. There is still a gap here, right? So we filled this gap, but there is still a gap here, and I'm just going to put a rectangle around the gap and the order block because I want this to be your kind of like point of interest level. And I'm going to put alert here. And then I'm just going to mention these lows in here. These are kind of like, this is a little choppy. Will they get taken? I don't know. But it does look like we're beginning to turn. Um, can we go lower? Absolutely. Because we're just waiting for that dollar to turn around. So, like on our dollar analysis, there is a possibility that we're going to continue to push up, um, as we discussed. So, but yes, we are hopefully starting to get a turnaround here, because I'm getting antsy and I really want to hop into this trade. But um, the lower it gets, the better, because we are, I mean, that's 500 pips, 455 pips. So that's a lot. If you just put like, I don't even know, if you just put a lot on that, I mean, that's crazy money right there. That's like 40 hours a week. So, so yeah, so all right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I hope everybody has a blessed week. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're more than welcome to come into um, the trading server. And thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next week.